7th of July 2006. We were here back in 2002. Got the truck stuck, broken arm, such at Long Lake. So we just kind of decided to redo the whole thing here. So we're at the northwest end, beginning here. These are on boulders in front of the cliff, which at this point is about 12 to 15 feet tall. I saw those ones up above too, I'm sure, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this line down here comes from the other face there. This is a spoked wheel. There's some lichen encroachment. Some quite well repatinated stuff there.
I got news for you. We're still a lot closer than that.
Oh no, that's pretty phallic. This is a very complicated one here. A series of circles. That boulder's about 3 feet tall by 5 feet wide. Several layers of imposition. This looks much older right up here at the tip of my finger. And stuff underneath. Some very old abraded stuff here. That circle's about, presumed circle is about 2.5, 3 inches wide. Looks like there may well be some older stuff down here too, once again on a boulder in front of the cliff. These are very, very old because the patina is almost returned to its original color. There's a snake there and kind of a pi symbol there. And up here on top, something else. Some tally marks about, the lower ones are about 4 inches tall, the upper one's about 6. This point, once again we're heading southeast around the lake here. Some very nice ones here. Dots up above there possibly. And the circle is roughly 10 inches in diameter. Series of dots with another figure up here. Cliff is a bit shorter here, probably 10-12 feet. Nice comb as we work our way around. This panel here, which has some zoomorphs on it, I'm guessing. Soundtrack courtesy of our bovine friends. Snake up here. So how easy it is. I was just looking at this stuff here and missed this very heavily repatinated stuff right up above it. There's some very heavily repatinated stuff here, and quite likely some stuff down below ground level here. And of course the shovel's in the truck. But these circles are about 1.5 inches wide. Kind of surprising, this kind of weird that this stuff here, which looks much older, is apparently superimposed over that. Well, that's kind of weird. That's very strange. And it's quite large there. That's from the tip down here to here is roughly 3 feet. This is kind of a very narrow entrance to a bit of a cave that goes back in here. I'm not going through there. I couldn't get through there. So I climbed over the top maybe. And this is a place that I've dubbed the Sandal Maker's House because of these 2 images up above. But this is an extremely complex hunting panel down below it here. If we start with anthropomorph and a phallic anthropomorph with a bow and arrow surrounded by 3 bighorn sheep, a lion collecting a couple of lizards, and once again up above the they could be medicine bags, but I think they're billboards, so somebody could tell that the fellow that lived here made sandals myself. And those are superimposed over some circles which are more heavily repatinated. A series of dots going across this boulder near the rim up here. Some terribly old ones with these scratch marks right in front of that grasshopper there. And the scratch marks are probably, well, 6 inches from there to there, and whatever goes on down below here. But very, very ancient things up here. And then just around the corner here, some newer stuff.
Wow, that's complete.
That's a very small bug. Now where else are we? And this is up in a little gap that kind of cuts uphill here. Back it over at the Sandal Maker site there. Heart Mountain in the background there, of course.
Just to shoot it.
Once again, some superimposition going on. Some very heavily repatinated stuff. This is repatinated almost to the point where you can't distinguish it. Particularly over here, down here.
Looks like an oval with a circle down there towards the
I don't know, ram's horns or something down here. And a circle over here for sure.
But it's all connected. See the...
Yeah. Some incredibly deep old stuff here. The circle up here. Figure not quite as heavily repatinated down there. Whereas into here we're getting some newer stuff. But just down below it here, Once again, we're getting into some very old circles. And here's a rock that's broken off of somewhere that's got some stuff on it, I believe. We have several really nice panels here, which are going to be hard to shoot. They're kind of a different style than most of the rest of this stuff too, it looks to me like. More tree-like sort of things there, plant-like. These are going to be tough to shoot. With human shade this works pretty good, but when you lean away it all but disappears.
I got it pretty good.
Yeah. I'm kind of shading it with my hat here. This one shows up better without shading. But once again, this definitely seems to me a different style. In that the lines are much thinner. And particularly the motif is a bit different. And down below here there's some stuff that's just about obscured. I missed these on the first pass. That biggest circle is roughly 8 inches in diameter. Now we're down on the bottom of this little pass, but here's some more of obviously that same style that's up above there, that circle being a good 10 inches in diameter, those concentric circles. And this series of tally lines is very even. I don't think it goes around the corner here. But I'm saying that this is, well, I'm calling it Long Lake Archaic. I don't care what anybody else calls it, but it just feels way different and way older than anything else here. And then as we round the corner here, looking back to the north, I was looking at this circle in here. It's like an lattle. Here, after kind of a hiatus of perhaps 200 yards, finally start to see some more, especially since there were some very nice places that looked perfect if there wasn't anything. So now we're picking them back up here apparently. Series of dots up here. On top of this. Here once again, after a several hundred yard hiatus, we come to some stuff. Quite a bit of stuff in
There's
here.
another circle with a old.
Missed that. I'll have to come back and get that. Yep, I see it there now. I missed that one.
And there's a deer right above it.
Yep. This is a very nice panel under here. Well preserved, in part at least because of the concavity of the rock there. And I see after about 2.5 hours all our clever descriptions have gone down to some stuff here. Oh. This is very heavily repatinated lines, and I dare say closest thing we've seen to Ogham here so far. Although it still isn't Ogham, but it's different. I have to wonder if it has anything to do with this cave up above here. But they do look newer than a lot of them. Also just a lunch break. I'm recharging the battery here. Just trying to see how many minutes we got here. Okay, here's a site, roughly midway in the lake here. It has some tally marks way up high here. And this nice panel down here that we've decided to do a little dirt archaeology. It's quite obvious that there are some sub-current surface level glyphs down here. I see back in there we even got some tally marks. So we're just going to do a little very careful excavating. Whoa, that was a big lizard. That's an auspicious sign. So that's what we'll do. Being very careful not to mark the rock with the shovel. Okay, here we've taken about 6 inches of soil underneath this, and not very much. However, here would appear that we've revealed a rake under here that wasn't visible, and Leanne's going to pour some water to see if we can't further clarify that.
Oops.
Over to the left. Okay, that should have washed some mud. It doesn't. Well, you can see it a little better, but there's definitely something there. Okay, I'll let you take. Don't know as we gained a whole bunch of definity here, but I only went down about 6 inches too. Some circles I missed down below this here a bit ago. Oh wait, I haven't seen this before. I think I went to the truck and Leanne saw this. Well, so at least in one case out of 3 here, we found subsurface level glyphs. What do you want? As this water dries, this comb down below here becomes a bit more distinct. Who knows how long it's been buried, so probably take a considerable amount of time for it to. It is near a crack here, though. But it is quite obvious here that this mound of soil at some point was less deep. There's a very, very nice lizard and mountain sheep. Like a nice t-shirt, I dare say. Down below it here, at least one more lizard. Well, this is the elephant rock from the other side. There's stuff kind of all over it. Oh my. This here is a lot older than this. And it happens to be in front of a rock shelter near these last guys over here.
Isn't that cool? If you
Yeah.
stand over here, you can really see this stuff. Down below it. It's repatinated.
One can almost imagine this is a dancing anthropomorph, kind of. A lot of very heavily repatinated tally marks or comb sort of structures down below here. This is in kind of a natural sort of out of the way place here. Several things. It's rather hard to make out things here, which are, these are lightly abraded up here. These are a little more heavily abraded here. All right, we're approaching here the, as far as I'm concerned, the culmination of this entire site lies within this 30 to 40 foot sort of enclosure, which I'll move away from here to kind of give an overview. The walls here are probably 18 to 20 feet tall, and I would say this series of panels starts right in there. And once again we are going to do some dirt excavating. There's a red petroglyph which reaches from taller than I can reach right down here. I'll move in so that we can be in the shade. But this is eye level, and this is moving on up. Also, right beside the red snake is a pictograph, red pictograph circle right there that's 5 inches in diameter. And obviously, so obviously, there's subsurface stuff here. And I'm just going to bite the bullet, be very careful with the shovel, and dig down until there are no more petroglyphs evident. But this is what it looked like before. Well, here's the result of my excavation. I went down about 9 or 10 inches below where this dip had gone down. The surface level actually would have been about level with the middle of that eye looking thing, but there was kind of a sink there that brought it down to where that mud level is, and right in here I finally hit the underside of the rock and cleared this out with my leather gloved hand to see the tally marks going down there. And they, once again, kind of seem in a semicircular sort of a thing, and then a stepped thing going here. So that's the story of that. And then right beside it over here, I'll move over. Beside it here, I cleared down roughly the depth of a shovel 10, 12 inches. And once again cleared the grooves out here with my gloved hand. The striations go down. The most interesting discovery was over in here, a circle right in here. I'll get a little closer view of that if I can. The circle right here that certainly mimics the one over next to it over here. What other observations? It seems that these stripes more or less kind of converge at kind of an angle down here. Other than that, it was a good little bit of exercise. So here's the dirt, and I'll throw it back in the holes. I'm going to throw a quarter in the bottom of these piles, or bottom of these holes, before I fill them in. And a little bit here to the right. I'm sure that if one were to excavate the bottom there, one would have somewhat similar results of finding stuff below the current surface level, which at one time would appear to be right above that white mark, which would have only left lines visible across the top there. So in any event, up above here, of course, is the chevron marks and the cross, and well, this is quite elaborate with a sun or a flower there and some other things. And then just surveying this wall once again, here a very, very tall, what would appear at the bottom to be a snake, but as we go on up, it widens right in here till about 4 inches wide. Continues up a considerable length, although it's difficult to tell exactly how far because calcification is coming off this ledge right there, some 12 to 15 feet above the surface level here. And beside it here is a red circle, and of course many layers of petroglyphs, including this perhaps a lattilatal sort of a figure, although that's pretty debatable, and this rather nice, really nice lizard. Continuing along over here, there's a hand mark down at the bottom here, or, well, it looks kind of like a hand mark, and some more circles and various rectilinear forms. And moving around here, it would appear that several of these have been at one time had ochre applied to them. Moving around here, there's some very widely pecked images, and once again there seems like a considerable amount of redness to this over here. A rainbow sort of figure. And once again near ground level over here, tally marks. Moving around the corner here, once again we have tally marks near the bottom. And over here a good deal of these kind of thin sort of scrapings, I guess you would call them, engravings, which are rather unusual. These don't look as old as the ones earlier on over there to me. In any event, this is seemingly a key sort of a place, at least in my opinion. So I'll cover my excavations back up here and we'll be on our way. This is right around the corner. It's going to be hard to see probably. Where's the blue one?
He just took off.
Well, now up above here, I believe we have a bunch of tally marks once again in that very old sort of fashion. Now we're getting around like every rock corner's got stuff on it here once again. Above here, light's probably kind of bad. Dots seem to be the order of the day here. Well, there is a zoomorph there, it looks like, but massive amounts of tally marks, or dots at least, which run both. Wow, that's quite the crack. Both horizontal and vertical, whatever that means. Yeah, some. Just that circle in the middle is packed this ring around is natural. There seems to be an anthropomorph up here as well. Very lightly scraped. Looks modern to me.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff over here.
Close.
Some peck dots here in the circle.
You see that one?
No. A little rummy here now. This one's about 18 inches high up here. That's right into the sun now. I don't know what we're going to get there. It's a pretty cool one here though. In fact, I think this is your elephant boulder. This is certainly some of the heaviest repatinated stuff going.
You're kidding me.
Very wide, very repatinated, newer zoomorphs. The entire surface of this huge boulder is covered with very repatinated rectilinear and curvilinear designs. That's what I say, I'm wondering. This is at least 12 to 15 feet high from top to bottom. There's a barbell, or at least two circles up here. These chevron-like things are quite heavily repatinated. These are almost indistinguishable. There's some tally marks up here. This is way up on a higher panel. In fact, this rim rock's getting to be about probably 35, 40 feet tall here at this point. This panel also has a red snake right in the middle of it. Pictograph, if you will. Well, here we are at Reservoir Lake. And there's about a mile and a half of stuff. And we're at the southwest end of it. Just starting out here. Something ain't right.
Anyway, I recognize the one around the corner. This one, we already have. And I thought it was from
Some widely pecked things. Certainly some extremely old stuff here. Well, apparently we were indeed at Reservoir Lake here, because we've got these images.
we've got that. And here's that big deer. hope that wasn't a snake making that bush move. Yeah, that too.
Here's some detail of this big panel. This zoomorph's probably a foot long, but there's lots of business going on underneath it. This widely pecked barbell. This is rather a nice view coming back out of Reservoir Lake of Hart Mountain. In fact, there's the notch that when we were on that rim the other day, that pointed rock was pointing to right there, as a matter of fact. This is at 44 Lake, although there's some confusion about that. Well, here it is, July 10th, Sunday in any event, on the second rare of 2006. There's our camp in the lake bed of what on the map's called Lake 44. There's some discrepancy in Lorraine's concerning the exact nomenclature of these lakes. And up here we have a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 circles. Some circles beside it as well. This one's really old here. Some stuff above these dots. And then this triple cross figure down below. I think that's what I'm going to start calling. That's a triple cross. There's a very, very old snake here. Barely make it out. Well, there's a snake image over there, but this is really a steep slope and we're not finding too much. So I think what we're going to do, rather than beat our tails off following this ridge, go back to the truck and follow this road as far as we can over there and check out the rim rocks that are on the far side of the lake, and maybe there's some right around that point too. This is at one of the wildlife lakes just to the west of School Section, which is over there. Fairly small site, but we're here. Oh yeah.
And back in there, there's circles.
Right in front of here. How can we get this out of the way? More than likely.
See them?
Uh-huh.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 with tails.
Oh yeah, I see them there now. And then these tally marks, and keep pull that out up that way.
It goes all the way to the end.
It's gonna be a hard one for you to get that bottom back one with the shadows, but stuff on there pretty indistinct. Whereas over here, this is a sure thing. Once again, this is Wildlife Lakes. Pretty unique one up here. It's like a flower.
Another little snaky dude there.
Oh yeah, there's two of them on that boulder. A snake and something up above it there too.
Oh.
I'll let you up here in a minute. Yeah, well, you see this. Yeah, down on this
Yeah.
boulder down here. And this is up on top.
That's cool. But
I don't see how we could have missed that one, but I don't remember taking a picture of it. At least it didn't look that way from down there. These are boulders that have tumbled. Both these got them on them. This is set back in kind of a bit of a enclosure back in here. Like it's most definitely an enclosure. This one is very, very, very difficult to make out. Falls right above my finger here. We do at this point have this rock casting a shadow at roughly 1:20 in the afternoon that I missed until the end. Just spotted it up here, right above that snake. Loop right at the entrance to this cave. This is in front of where that kind of enclosure thing was a minute ago. Here's a good example of what I would call a copy of one. That upper ladder thing is considerably more repatinated than the lower one, yet they appear to be very similar images. And here's an example where various shades of light make all the difference in what you can actually see on this boulder, as I'm trying to demonstrate here. It's a very tall image. It's probably a good 3.5 feet in the center of this photo. I missed those on the way over. I missed those on the way over. And this is by far the most complex panel here.
now, where did you say the big one was?
Just a second here. On that rock there, the big one right to your right. In fact, grinding stone up here. Safe. A very old snake over there. And then zoomorph, 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 snake, tree.
Oh man. They're all the way across. Take the car. I know.
Guy scaring away a rattlesnake. Big panel. Sounded like about your second to last one there. On top of this one. So this is what the site more or less looks like, looking at it from the east, and it's about yay far from the truck. This is the Fisher Canyon site that Melvin Adams turned us on to, near the it's an unrecorded loring site. And the first image is here, Fisher Canyon, or a mere 50 feet off the road. A fork in the road that goes off to,
You don't want to tell it that.
that's true. It has seriously black patination going on. Here we have the jump roper figure once again, along with some hard to define images. This would appear to be a hunting blind right on top of the ridge here. In any event, it's a stone fence. I'll shoot it from down below as well. Here's the hunting blind from down below. Stretches for probably 40 feet, perhaps more, right at the top of this canyon, where animals would have gone up toward the lake to drink, or there may have been a spring here. Well, it's in a creek bed, so there's a circle about 4 inches in diameter. Down here there's a circle, snake of sorts. This panel is roughly 4 by 4 on a 10 to 12 foot high face cliff, and there are a number of things going on. Here we have a round figure, maybe an anthropomorph. Here we have a very deeply incised U, and down below it something going on. Up above it, thing, and up above that a rake of sorts, and some tally marks going across here. Something else going on down here. A rock away, something there. Yeah, it definitely is an image. It's way up there on the cliff, and quite frankly, I'm not walking up there. This is Featherbed Lake on the way to the Rabbit Creek site, and there's supposed to be some hunting walls in here. I'm not sure if maybe that's it, or I thought I saw some, or whether maybe that looks like trees. Well, this apparently is the hunting wall. According to Melvin Adams. According to Melvin Adams, this is a hunting wall. We're not going to take the time to investigate today. Down below us here is the Rabbit Creek site, which we'll explore tomorrow on a new roll of film. But it's very pretty here, with the exception of these power lines, but even they're kind of a little bit intriguing. We got a line of power lines and a line of cows and a line of bulls. How much more could you want? Except these are really pretty desolate, but kind of pretty hills over here. And there's a bit of an enigma about what causes this line going across here. Has somebody plowed this over here, or what's the deal with that? And then of course we're going to have to explore this rim down here, where Loring's say every available stone has got petroglyphs for about a mile. And Adams says that by his map that there's some back up this way. So we'll resolve that in the morning. In the meantime, this is Rock Art Planet, Russell and Leanne saying good night, America. And